You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
I am back. Rodrance for Black and White Sports 2. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, like, comment, share. We've got one former Tampa Bay quarterback, a current Tampa Bay quarterback. We got teammates talking about each of them. One of them speculating and just saying he believes anything's possible with a Tom Brady comeback, and he believes the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still reaching out to Tom Brady, I guess, in an attempt to get him to come back. I'm not sure he would want to come back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. A lot of people feel like it's going to be a down team. I will say this. You still got Mike Evans. You still got Chris Godwin. So you still got two major weapons at wide receiver. So that's something to think about. I still feel like this team is going to put up some points. And who knows on the defensive side? I know one thing. It feels like this team, believe it or not, misses Bruce Arians a whole lot. I mean, truly. I think we may be finding out exactly how valuable of a mind Bruce Arians really is. So let's get to this on Brady. Then we will get to Levante David and the way that team feels about Baker Mayfield, which kind of makes you wonder, look, would they love to have Tom Brady back? Or are they ready to rock and roll with Baker Mayfield? Because evidently Baker is breaking some of those bullshit narratives that are out there about him as a teammate, yada, yada, yada. They seem to love him in L.A. last year. And there's also been, times where some of those Cleveland teammates have come out and shot down some of the narratives around Baker Mayfield not being a great teammate either. So let's get to this. Tom Brady said in February he was retiring for good and has been adamant about staying away from football for the time being after more than 2 decades in the NFL and 7 Super Bowl titles. Look, before we go too far, I do want to say, I do tend to believe that if he's going to come back, you're going to be looking at 3 teams here. You're going to be looking at the Miami Dolphins because he lives down there. You're going to be looking at the San Francisco 49ers because, well, they got a team that is ready to win, and that is his childhood favorite team. And the team he's a minority owner of, the Las Vegas Raiders. And their quarterback situation is definitely not set in stone because we don't know whether Jimmy G is going to stay healthy or not. I tend to believe with Josh McDaniels, that might be the best or most likely option because, well, in Vegas, you're going to have a great stadium, nice weather. You're going to have that in Miami too. I don't know. I believed he was coming back for a while. I'm tending to lean now towards the idea that he's going to stay out. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive back Antoine Winfield Jr. appeared on the Richard Sherman podcast and didn't exactly dismiss the notion that Brady is finished. Well, and we also got to remember he was directly asked to poo-poo those Miami Dolphin rumors, and you remember he refused to do that. He was very non-answer. I'm not going to come out and just give a straight no. And that sort of kept the door cracked, okay? That did not, in fact, that did not help stop any of the talk. It didn't. Quote, you know what? When he first said he was retired, I thought he really was. I thought he was done, and then he surprised me when he came back, Winfield said. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know with him because he might be like, man, that's it. I've had enough of a break. I'm trying to come back and play. So I really don't know, to be honest with you. I'm sure we're still reaching out to him to see if he's trying to come back to the team. Hey, it could happen. Anything's possible. Brady announced he was stepping away from the game after the 2021 season, but the month of retirement drove him back into the NFL. He led the Buccaneers to a Super Bowl title during his first season with the team. Last season, God, he still threw for a ton of yards, but they didn't have any running game. Brady racked up 46, basically 4,700 yards and 25 touchdowns. They won the division, but was beaten, of course, in the wild card by the Cowboys. Going into 2023, Tampa Bay will have to make a decision as to who will be Brady's successor, Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, or John Wilford. Got to think it's going to be Baker Mayfield. I can't not imagine Kyle Trask beating out Baker. I just don't buy it. So over to JoeBucksFan.com. Guys, if y'all don't check this this website out, man, some good stuff comes out of this website. It really does. Iconic Bucs linebacker Levante David was talking about the starting quarterback duel yesterday on Sirius XM radio with co-host Alex Marvez and retired running back Robert Turbin. Who knew that Robert Turbin was a radio host? David had a little to say about Trask and a lot to say about Mayfield. Quote, obviously Baker's already been the guy. And you know he's expected to live up to what everybody expected him to be, David said. Baker is great for our locker room. I like the way Baker carries himself coming in with a ready-to-work mentality. Everybody loves him already, and the way he approaches the practice is great to see. So there's definitely some great things to see out of Baker. He's a guy who's done it before. He took his team to the playoffs. He's done some great things so far. The competition with those guys is going to be very, very competitive. I'm glad to be a part of it. During minicamp, it was really fun to see, man. Those guys are really having fun with it. They're definitely helping each other throughout the way, so that's definitely something I love to see as well. David praised Trask for being able to take in the offense and able to, kind of like lead guys and stuff like that. Wow. Not exactly the most ringing endorsement after basically 2 paragraphs worth of praise for Baker Mayfield. Now, I did a story on this channel, believe it was last year, about Baker Mayfield and the fact that the story came out from one of his former teammates that Cleveland, the actual management in Cleveland, tried to cause a bunch of drama and started leaking out these rumors about Baker that just weren't true. You could tell, he said, in an effort to gain buy-in about the idea that they just traded for Deshaun 25 civil lawsuits Watson. And evidently, there's probably teammates in Cleveland, make no mistake, even if, you got 53 guys on your main roster, even if 45 of them are bought into Deshaun Watson, well, what about the others that are like, I don't even want to take the field with this, criminal in some. Look, make no mistake, guys. We act like everybody in the league, all thinks the same, blah, 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 blah. No, there's people in the league, I can tell you for a fact, because we've had ex-players email us at times telling us how much they like our channels. Look, I mean, I assure you that everybody in the league don't think the same, that there is pushback. A lot of times they don't say anything because they know there's drama around it. So we don't know how well Deshaun is really liked in the locker room or not, but that story was very clear. A lot of what was coming out about Baker Mayfield was bullshit, plain and simple. It was a lot of, remember all the button heads with the teammates and this and that and the other, and people were like, that didn't really happen. And people hadn't soon forgot that Baker led that team to the playoffs and all this kind of thing. I actually think we might see a bit of a resurgence out of Baker Mayfield. I wish he had more of an offensive guy. Like, I would have liked to seen Baker and Sean McVay somehow stay together. I know the 49ers very much considered Baker Mayfield in the offseason. That would have been very, very interesting. Maybe they ultimately didn't because they thought, yikes, Baker could come in here and maybe beat out our quarterbacks. And do we not want to for sure make sure this is Brock Purdy's job? Because, and it's going to be an interesting situation. Let's say Brock ends up being out the first 4 games and Sam Darnold is playing lights out and is 4-0. there could be some drama in 49ers land. Never mind Brady and that whole thing. I got to think that at this point, 49ers management is like, we just cannot do the Brady thing. I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any inside information there. We know they turned that away at one time. So, I don't know. We'll have to see. If Brady was to come back, would he want to come back to Tampa Bay? I don't know about that. My biggest problem with Tampa Bay is you got a offensive line in flux. That could be bad for Baker too. And you've got a real issue potentially at the running back position, which was an issue last year for Tom Brady. Both of those things were. But I will say this. There is definitely part of me when it comes to Brady that believes he would love to have a last year that's not full of drama related to Giselle and a divorce. And you could tell that absolutely, just by looking at him, he dropped almost 20 pounds on the field. He looked like hell. He physically looked bad, pale, and he was dealing with all that drama. And if any of you guys have ever been through a divorce, there's real stress there. Never mind the stress of an NFL season. You got to think there may be a part of him that would like to just have a non-drama filled off season or off the field situation while he's actually trying to play. I know that. I would have come back for that very reason. I would have been like, you know what? I had too much drama last year. It's not going to be my last ride. I'm doing this again. I would have come back for that one reason only. Tell me what you think. Black and White Sports 2 supporters, is Brady done? Many of you are going to be like, why are we talking about him? He's done. It's not stopping until this season is over. You got to make it through this season. Brady is going to be a thing, maybe even next year too. Look, Troy Aikman was a thing after retiring for 5 years. So was Favre. Even Kurt Warner. Teams were flirting with Kurt Warner 2, 3, 4 years after he quit playing, trying to get him to come back. You think they're not going to flirt with Tom Brady? Come on. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.